Hello again everyone, it's Aegis here. Welcome back to those of you who are coming back, and welcome to those who are looking at one of my videos for the first time. If you are one of those people, you might be wondering how I've already got to this stage in a draft. That was the previous video, and I'll put a link in the comment on the description to get you back to that one. So as a brief reminder of where we are, this is a blue-green elementals deck. It does have a couple of little oddities: manifold key to try and get one of the bigger creatures unblockable, and Marauder's Axe to give a bit more punch maybe to one of the flyers, so Cloudkin Seer or Wave Crasher or Boreal Elemental. Aside from that, we have a bit of a synergy with the Risen Reef, but overall not a massive amount of elemental synergy here. And I suppose there's the Thicket Crasher as well, so if we get that and the Risen Reef out, we're pretty solid. For anything else, we might struggle unless we get some solid early plays. Our curve does look like we should be able to get some solid early plays, but I've been wrong on that before. So let's see how the first game goes. And as always, if you see any absolute howlers either with my drafting or with my play, do please let me know, because I am trying to learn how to play this game a bit better than I currently can. Cathalor. I can't quite work out if that's bronze or gold. Well, that's not a terrible start. I don't have anything to boost this apart from the Marauder's Axe, but it's keepable. Let's see what happens. So we do have a sort of curve here. We've got a turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, turn 5 play. So and that's decent to see. In fact, we've now got a new turn 3 play. Although I might save that until I get another elemental out, because obviously it boosts up another elemental for me. So I will wait to play out the Cutthroat, and instead I'll play out the Marauder's Axe this turn. Might seem a bit weird, but with that in the way, I know I'm not going to be attacking, so I might as well hold back a bit of extra information. That is a pain because we are green, so that is very, very annoying to see. Hopefully we'll be able to play around that, but yeah, that's pretty nasty, and especially the +1/+1 restriction. So I might as well bring this bad boy out now, because you can't put a +1/+1 counter on anyone, which I think is grossly unfair, very sad, etc., etc. But never mind. We'll see if we can make him synergize with something else. It's a real shame actually, because he could have come out, put a counter on a creature, and then we could have got another one from the Wave Crasher. But until we can get rid of that, which I'm not 100% sure we can, we don't really get any options here. I'm sort of thinking I might as well just bring out the Cutthroat, but if I'm going to do that, I might as well do it on the opponent's turn. So shall I just equip the axe just to use some mana? I feel like that was a total waste, but what can you do? I don't really want to attack, because this one has a great synergy when other stuff dies, and he's got protection from green in any case, so without trample, what's the point? So I'm just going to skip my go, and we'll see what he ends up doing. Yeah, at least that's not absolutely terrible for me. It's not ideal for an opponent to get a card draw, but at least it's only card draw. Okay, that's not to my creature, so that's not terrible. Don't have to do that. On the other hand, that is a pain, because that'll kill pretty much anything it encounters, and well, I like my stuff not being killed. Board state wise, this is not looking amazing, I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of thinking that I really need to draw a Zephyr Charge at this point. If I can do that, I can get my Overgrowth Elemental hitting for 5 a turn. It puts the opponent on a very, very short countdown. So so it does this, and yeah, annoyingly that is return, it's not you may return, so I'm going to bring out the spider. And maybe we can bring out the cut, or get the cutthroat bounce because it's relatively cheap. But don't really want to be attacking at this point. Yeah, I've had better starts, I must say. I've definitely had better starts in this game. It's quite a useful, powerful creature as well. I'm sort of regretting not taking one myself, but you know, we went down the elementals route, and well, I'm just going to have to live with that now. And this is not as helpful as it could be. So I guess, well, I might as well play this, bounce the cutthroat, and hold the cutthroat for opponent's turn. There doesn't seem to be an awful lot else that I can really do with my mana at this point. And if I bring it out again, then I can cast the other Wave Crasher if I want to. But I think I'll probably hold that in reserve. Oh, good. Another scry opportunity. I suspect that we're going to be hit with something big and nasty before too long, because the opponent has had a lot of opportunities to decide what to go after us with. The good thing is that they did scry both of those to the bottom, so indicating that perhaps they didn't hit what they were looking for. That helps. That helps a bit. But while they've got a Death Touch creature on the board, does it help enough? So if I was to swing with the Wave Crasher, if they block with the Death Toucher, it takes care of the Death Toucher, it boosts up the Elemental. That puts me in a better place for next turn, especially since I've got a Growth Cycle in hand. I think that's the play. So I would expect them to block this with the Vampire of the Dire Moon. So let's have a look. Yep, there we go. So no point in boosting this because it's going to die anyway. Gives me a life, gets a counter onto... Oh, it doesn't get a counter because of the Blight Beetle. That was stupid. So I might as well play my land and end my turn. That was annoying. I should have spotted that. It's a definite misplay. But my board state is now completely wrecked. Yeah, that is pretty terrible, especially since they're now going to bring out something big and nasty that I haven't seen, I'm guessing. Oh, no, okay, that's not the worst outcome possible. I might as well play this guy again. So, let's get the land out. I'm definitely going to be attacking through this. Given that I'm going to be attacking, I will also add the axe on, because I want this to be a bit more of a threat. So it's now a 4 damage threat. Let's see. I suspect he's not going to take the bait because it's way too stupid to do that. But in light of the fact that I've got another one of those, in fact another 2 of those in the deck, and they benefit from having graveyard presence, let's do that. Now, that's helpful. That's very helpful indeed. So I'm just going to bring this out. We haven't seen any counter magic, but if you did have... Oh, God. Main decking negate. Marvellous. That would have been perfect. Of course he was holding a counter spell. Well, what now? I can attack again. And I'm not averse to the idea of attacking again, actually. I might as well start trying to kill stuff. I'm not happy about that. That shouldn't really have happened. Playing a main deck negate like that against an unknown opponent, that's an oddity. But Yeah, I knew every card in his hand except that one, and it bit me. Still, at least we're ahead on life total. I realise that means almost nothing in this point of the game, but we are ahead on life total, and he doesn't have his death toucher anymore. So there's that. Now this is an interesting play. Let's get this one out. We haven't entered the battlefield effect, so boost that around, bring this back, and might as well play that again. And anything else? Yes, I'm going to attach the axe to the healer. So this gives me 3 credible attackers next turn. He can obviously absorb one of them with the Blight Beetle, but any of the others that start blocking are going to die, which is helpful. That would have been unusual. Now we're a bit happier. So let's send in the Wave Crasher. And yeah. Okay. Unless he's got a really good trick this turn, which he does. That can be used defensively, I'm guessing. So yeah, that's painful. Once again, my trick to win appears to have been defeated, or at least temporarily. That I'm really not in the least bit worried about. Him attacking with the thing that stopped me attacking with my green creatures is great. I'm not quite sure why he did that. So if I attack now with the Wave Crasher and the Mammoth Spider, he can double block the Wave Crasher and lose 2 creatures, single block the Mammoth Spider and lose a single creature, or double block it and lose 1 creature as well. So on that basis, I think what I'll do is attack with just the Wave Crasher. Now, hang on. No, you can't get that many creatures in the air. I'm going to attack with both. You can kill one of them, but the other would get through, or he can block both of them and lose 2 creatures. I'm okay with either of those outcomes. I've still got the Healer of the Glade to block, and I can bring out both the Healer of the Glade and the Overgrowth Elemental to block as well. So I think this is a particularly decent turn. And that to me is fine, because that takes out 2 creatures, releases the axe for something else. I'm still very healthy on life. Let's bring out this one, get the extra life gain, and we'll bring out this as well for the extra defender. And you know, it's irrelevant what happens here because I can't put the +1/+1. But I have 4 creatures on the board. I have 4 uses of Zephyr Charge next turn. I have 3 creatures on the board and 4 uses of Zephyr Charge next turn. That's probably not the one I'd have blocked, or I'd have stopped like that, because these ones, I mean, yeah, I'm just going to kill the burglar because it's the life linker. So yeah, he can take out one of those, and I'm not in the least bit fussed by that. Now, cleverly, he's held back the Blight Beetle this time. That I think was a very good idea. That's unfortunate, but yeah, if I attach this to the healer of the glade and send both of them in flying. In fact, is there any point in sending both of them in flying? Because I can see his hand. I know that he's not going to worry about making them fly, so I'm just going to send them in without bothering with the flying. Might make him think that I've got something a bit better in hand. But either way, this I think is decent, because again, I'm getting through for 3, or he's losing a creature. And yes, I could lose my healer of the glade here, but I don't really like those, so that's not a problem. And I do get an extra life out of it. So there we are. That's pretty much how I would have expected him to block. And there we go. And I might as well attach this to the spider. So yeah, overall, not amazing board presence, but I think I can win with these. As long as I can keep whittling down what he's got on defence. Biggest problem next turn, or my next turn, is going to be that he can get blockers and killers into the air. Oh no, he can't, because he's got rid of his mana base. So that's yeah, that's decent. Please attack. Yes, there we go. That's lovely. Just attack with something there. Excellent. Right, this is decent, because again he can block, but he's going to lose a creature. And I have loads and loads of life, so I don't really care. That is fantastic. That is a perfect draw at this stage. If I get this down on the battlefield, that is broadly game over. It might even be, it's not quite actual game over, but it's pretty close. Because now all of that trample damage gets through, and he's going to be struggling to deal with the incoming threat. So I'm super pleased to have had that draw. That's really good. Of course, the Mammoth Spider doesn't have trample, but the Overgrowth Elemental does, so he has a bigger threat on the board. That's good. That's expected. So I slightly regret not switching the Marauder's Axe over, but yeah, hindsight is a wonderful thing. That's a pain. That's a pain. But I have nine in the air, and he can deal with 4 of it, so 5 gets through, and that is flawless. That is a wonderful draw, absolutely wonderful, because it works so well with this going over the top strategy. So the one I'm going to get rid of is the vampire, and it's probably going to be the first one that he decides that he's going for, or that he's doing into the air. So I'm obviously attacking with both here, and this is absolutely perfect. He'll block. Yeah, there we go. If he blocks the Thicket Crasher with that, I'll just wait until he blocks and then kill it. So you can probably see I've got a combat trick, but he has no idea which combat trick it is. And this is not a normal combat trick. So, now that is interesting, but I'm going to stick with my plan. I'm going to let him kill the Thicket Crasher. Can I do that, actually? Shall I let him take the spider? Thicket Crasher gives me trample. Thicket Crasher is going to be better for next turn. Gets 4 damage through. This is the way to go. I can chuck the Marauder's Axe onto the Thicket Crasher to make it bigger, and at the moment he's only got 2 block versus what's going to be 6 damage coming in next turn, and he's only got 3 life. And now, of course, I'd forgotten that was going to die. He's down to 1. So this is great because trample damage goes straight over the top of protection. So 1 damage will go on to the Blight Beetle and 5 to his face. So this is actually a strong position for me. I'm very happy with how this has panned out. And he drew a land. absolutely perfect. I don't even need to fly at this stage, and that's just gravy. That is, yeah. That was a really, really fun game. That was one of the most fun games I've had of Magic, well, ever. Because I thought at the start that he genuinely had me on the ropes a couple of times, and then it all went really, really well for me. So that was really good. Sorry, that's sounding like I'm gushing, I'm sure, but I'm actually really, really happy with that. That was really good fun. I think the opponent may have forgotten to concede because he did a good game. There we are. And let's not waste any further time. He's got no way to respond to this. And there we go. Well, the combination seems to be going quite nicely. I have made a couple of errors already. I forgot the Mammoth Spider is not an elemental and therefore does not get trample from the Thicket Crasher. And I've had the Marauder's Axe on the wrong thing. But yeah, overall, I'm relatively pleased with how I played that one. I didn't make any absolutely terrible mistakes that led to my demise. So let's jump straight into the second game and see if I can keep this going. I would normally like to see both of my colours in an opening hand, but in mana sources. But I've only got the Wave Crasher here, and I've got a healer, a growth cycle, and 2 overgrowth elementals. I'm quite happy with just playing green for the first few goes if need be. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do at this point. And there's a Vorstor to try and ramp up into, but yeah, I could do with a bit more land before that comes around. So I didn't get my my super growth cycle play off on the last game. Maybe this is the one for it, and that's a potential card to be using it against. Fencing Ace is one that I would want to get rid of relatively quickly. So I think I'm going to sit back, pretend I don't have anything. Maybe he will lunge straight into this, thinking that he's got an easy win. Ouch. But I can still kill it, which is the important thing. So it's going to kill my healer, but I'm going to kill it, and I think that is a very worthwhile trade. I hope I can still cast this. Yes, good. There we are. Right. Death to the Fencers. And there's my second, which makes me a little bit happy, although turn 3 and no land draws means that I'm not playing anything, which is less happy. Oh, that's just terrible. Yeah, I'm now in a lot of trouble. I only need 2 lands before I can play anything currently in my hand. That's really annoying because I would have been able to play something this turn. Yeah, I don't see a lot of Tectonic Rifts. At least I haven't so far. I'm happy to take a shock to the face. That's okay. My life total is still robust. You know, it's not ideal, but again, I'll take it. There we go. At least I can now get something on the board. Now, I suspect he's regretting giving away that shock. But yeah, I'm quite happy with what just happened there. Okay, so Overgrowth Elemental, boost up the other Overgrowth Elemental, attack with the other Overgrowth Elemental. Let's start to try and whittle that life total down a bit. Because he's doing 3 damage to me every turn at the moment, and he's just got a bit of a boost out of that. But I'm going to bring down a 4/4 next turn, which will help me with that. I'll be able to defend a bit more. So do I actually do that, or do I bring down the spider? So the spider will help me to just outright block the Scorch Spitter, or the Stone Golem. That's my play. And I think for this one I hold everything back because I want the opportunity to kill the Scorch Spitter with the Overgrowth Elemental. There we are. That's lovely. That's the sort of thing I wanted to see. He's on defensive now. So I bring out the Flyer because it's a pain to get rid of, and I can start attacking over his head. Yeah, that doesn't cause me any problems. So now I'm up to 7 mana. I can bring out the Vorse Claw, which I probably will do. Let's attack with the Flyer. And yeah, Vorse Claw. Because that is a solid defender on the ground, and if he does find a way to kill it, it boosts both of the Overgrowth Elementals. Yeah, that's annoying, but as long as I can keep his life total down, it's not the end of the world. That's very helpful indeed. Let's get another card. Lovely. Now, would I benefit more from Cloudkin's Seer coming back a second time, or Overgrowth Elemental coming back a second time? I think Overgrowth Elemental, this one in particular, because then I can boost up Boreal Elemental, which means that if he happens to get Angel of Vitality over 25 life and boosts it up to 4/4, the Boreal Elemental is still better. So let's bring that back, and we'll attack there. Now I should have done that after combat. That's my bad, but I'm still happy with the overall outcome of that turn. Heartpiercer Bow is a pain because of the Cloudkin Seer, but I really don't care at all about losing the Cloudkin Seer at this point. And that's one of the reasons why I don't care. So let's kill that and kill that, and that's it, hopefully. There we go. Oh, that's mean. I like it. I'm going to do it. So let's boost it first. So Boreal Elemental is going to be a 4/5. We'll kill this. And we are going to swing with that, 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 and that. And the opponent is basically admitting defeat at this point already. That's helpful. That's good to know. He's got nothing in the air to defend against the Boreal Elemental. He's got not enough on the ground to defend against the ground. Yes, he can kill the Vorse Claw. It's going to boost both of my Overgrowth Elementals. Opponent scoops. That worked out really well. That was a really, really nice blend of cards. I got very lucky there. Well, no, I don't think I've seen that before. Is it an old Simic card? Doesn't read very good. Not one of the rares I'd be excited to draw, I don't think, if I was starting a draft. But I don't know, maybe I'll take another look at it later and see if it's one that I want to play. Oh, that's a new one. I've not seen that particular avatar before. Okay, first time we get our Risen Reef. I'm definitely not going to throw this back as a result. Got a nice anti-flyer, got a nice combat trick, and got both of my colours. Yeah, this is probably the best starting hand that we've had so far. So on that note, watch me go 2-1 instead of completing or continuing the winning streak. Let's just pretend to be monocoloured for the moment. I'm not going to cast Growth Cycle on his creature. That would just be silly. Although a viable strategy if I had multiple in hand and I really wanted to get the second, the effect of having another one in the graveyard, but no, I definitely don't need that right now. Oh yeah, we'll definitely put another land out. Thank you very much. That means Mammoth Spider next turn, which is wonderful. That's less wonderful, but you know, it did its job. It sat there and it generated me an extra land that I wouldn't otherwise have had, and I can now bring out something that's a bit hefty, causes them a bit of problems attacking me. And then hopefully next turn I can bring out the Wave Crasher, Well, I don't. I've actually messed that up, haven't I? Because I don't really. No, I haven't. There you go. Much better to be lucky than good, because I don't actually want to. I don't want to play the Wave Crasher before I play this, because this gets me an extra card, which is lovely. Now I could plummet the Cloudkin Seer, but what's the point? I've got the Mammoth Spider, which can stop it from coming in. I could Growth Cycle, but again, no point at all. So no attacks. End turn. Let's see if he gives me an opportunity to mess with him in combat. Oh, another one. Well, as long as he doesn't mind losing a Cloudkin Seer a turn, he can get through. He can get through and get a whole 2 points of damage. Because I don't think I'll bother blocking, except with the Mammoth. But now he's decided that he doesn't want that particular route. Not entirely surprised. That is a 2-1. So I could swing in with the Cloudkin Seer, but I'd actually rather bounce it. So if I bounce the Cloudkin Seer, I can replay it and get another card draw, which is fantastic. And now my combat tricks are looking quite fun, because I can get both of those played in a single turn, which could be quite devastating for the opponent if I manage to get a +3 and a +5 on top of something in one go. And a Manifold Key. Okay, there's some really interesting potential synergies here. I think I'd like to get rid of some of the air defense at this point. So I would want to attack with Cloudkin Seer. He's got enough on the table at the moment that he could take down the Wave Crasher. But if I was to equip an axe on that and be prepared to do a growth cycle, that's probably... Yeah, I think that's probably my attack, actually. So I'm going to equip here to make it a pretty damn big threat, and then I'll attack through. Now I'm going to attack with this and the Seer. I expect that they'll sack the skeleton into the Wave Crasher, but that's fine. I'm happy with them wasting their mana, bringing that around each turn. Yeah, totally understandable that they would want to do a double block there. Should I just plummet it? Yeah. Might regret that later, but it's fun. And again, it gets rid of some of their air defense, which will help me later if I get the Boreal Elemental out. So I might as well play the Manifold Key here. I could get some pretty nasty damage through at some point now, because I've got a 6 here, +8 gets me to 14 damage in a single turn, just from one creature, and it can be unblockable. So that potentially is a game winner right there, as long as I can get his life down a little bit first. Okay, so he's gone for a Heart Piercer Bow, so he's decided that he's going to take out the Cloudkin Seer. It doesn't bother me at all. Will he brought that? No, so it is, yeah. So okay, so do I just start piling in? What's the threat? The threat is that he comes back with a total of 6 damage. I'm not that worried about a total of 6 damage. I think I swing in with everything, and I don't even bother making anything unblockable. How much is it? It's 3 in tap. I've got 6, 8, so if I, yeah, okay, well I might as well make something unblockable, and that something might as well be the Wave Crasher, and I might as well then attack with everything. So, I'm going to Growth Cycle the Seer, largely because it's fun, and now do I Growth Cycle again to get a load of extra damage through, or no, I'll save that as a trick for another turn. Because I'm so close to being able to just get through enough damage to just outright win. I don't really want to overplay my hand at this point. Now I'm probably going to lose the seer this turn. I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me. I'm not going to play defensive growth cycle to stop that from happening. Because I'd actually rather he attacks with that and leaves it tapped for next turn. So I suspect that the final bit for his turn will be to bring back the skeleton again, which I think is a total waste of time for him, but you know, it's his game, he can do it if he wants. And I'm losing a little bit of life here, which I'm just not too worried about at this point. So let's see that skeleton play. Yeah, there we are. And I think rather than bothering to attack this time, I'm just going to, or attack with the spider this time, I'm just going to attack with the wave crasher. Oh, does that give me lethal? Because I'm already at +5 and +7. Yeah, it gives me lethal. So, okay, that's great. So, combat, attackers. Yeah, you're going to attack. Let's boost you by that. And by that. I have never had that combo play before. That felt really good. Probably less so for the opponent because that looked like a really jammy set of cards to have drawn all in one go. But yeah, the synergy worked well there. Genuinely really surprised to find myself at 3-0 at this point in the proceedings. This is far, far better than I usually do at the start of a draft, but I guess you know the cards that I've picked are working well together. So yeah, I've been really fortunate. Of course, now I'm at the stage where everyone's probably 3-0, and I've gone up into the gold category. So I suspect I'm going to be dealing with some slightly more difficult decks at this point, and that is not an ideal start because I'm way off being able to play a creature, and I don't have a blue source, so I'm going to have to mulligan that. That's worse. Wow. I'm going down to 5. Yeah, that's marginally better. I think I have to get rid of the spider because, yeah. So spider's going to have to go. Oh God, can I get rid of the spider? I need to keep a creature. I need to get rid of the manifold key, and I think the growth cycle. So I'll bring back the spider and get rid of the growth cycle. Because I need those creatures out, but that is a bad start. I mean, at least the opponent went down to 6, but that's not good news. That's starting to look better, so I'm a little happier now. If I draw a land next turn, I'll probably delay playing the overgrowth elemental because I want to play the wave crasher first and get a counter on it. There we go, I will in fact be delaying. So, I mean, it makes no difference. He was going to hit me for 2 regardless because that's in the air. But hopefully in a couple more turns he won't be doing that anymore because of the mammoth spider. So the mammoth spiders are definitely earning their keep so far on this draft because they are shutting down a lot of those incoming attacks that would have otherwise been just whittling away at my life total. Okay, that's brilliant. Thicket Crasher it is. So the reason I changed my mind there is because I can now play Overgrowth Elemental or Mammoth Spider next turn, and then at some point I can bounce it. Now that sleep paralysis, it's annoying, but it's not terrible because I can bounce the Thicket Crasher if I want, but it still gives me all of those wonderful tramples on everything else. But I'm just going to bounce it. So yes, I've taken quite a lot of life or damage so far, but I'm one step off being able to get the mammoth spider out, which will shut down these aerial attacks at least for a while. I don't have a choice but to take 4 damage again. half of my life left. Perfect, that's what I'm after. Let's get this out. Vial of Dragonfire does not help. Oh no, they've got a counter. Damn it. That is unfortunate. And then I might as well swing back. That is very unfortunate. Because now it's a race and they are winning. Right. Oh, this is bad. I must remember to use the Zephyr Charge, because I can defend myself in the air using the Zephyr Charge, which I think I had forgotten up until this point, so I've probably misplayed that a couple of times. No, I can't take the time to boost that. That's really annoying. So they're now going to attack with, and yeah, I've lost. Yeah, that was an incredibly fast play by the opponent. They just had some seriously good cards, and I did not that time. I don't think there was anything I could have done differently there. Perhaps I missed a couple of plays on the Zephyr Charge. I will go back and review that and see if I actually could have played something that would have defended, or could have given flying to something that could have defended. Yeah, still got time for more games. Oh wow, from one extreme to the other, but I have two playables as a 2-drop and a 3-drop, so I think I'm going to keep these. And of course the Cloudkin Seer is good because it gives me the extra card. So yeah, this could be interesting. So for a moment I'm going to pretend to be mono blue, see if they change up the way that they're doing things as a result. And yeah, I might as well play that on their turn. There's no point in playing it now because it'll die to the Daybreak Chaplain, which quite frankly would just be embarrassing. That's a bit of a threat. Let's bring out this. Mana Spider again. That's good. Bring out the Seer. Ooh, so much land this one. No attacks. So I think I'm happy letting that through, because I can't kill it without losing both creatures. I don't really want to lose either creature because I've got some value in the air and some potential long-term value on the ground. I don't like letting through 3 lifelink damage, but at least I have a Healer of the Glade that's looking like the likely candidate to play next turn, which is going to get me back that life loss. So it's not as bad as the 6-mana swing that it could have been, and that really helps. Because next time he swings in, I can actually kill him. And it has the added advantage of boosting the Blindborn Cutthroat. So let's hope he does pretty much the exact same turn again. So here come the attacks. So if I boost the Blindborn, in fact I'm just going to boost the Healer of the Glade, because it's enough to kill the Daybreak Chaplain. Doesn't risk anything if he has removal. Yeah, okay, great, he takes my Healer of the Glade. That won't bother me at all. So let's kill this. He's got a combat trick, hasn't he? Yeah, but you know, again, kill the Healer of the Glade. I actually just don't care. So that's very helpful. And my wife is home, so yeah, you might hear that in a moment. bring out the spider. Spider coming down means that I've got a bit more defence. Let's get this guy attacking. Next turn I'm going to put the axe onto the seer, and that should really help with getting everything in play. So I think I'm still going to attach this to the flyer, keep his life total a little bit more under control, and I'll attack with that. And what I could do is at the end of the turn, in fact what I will do at the end of this turn is to shift the axe onto the mammoth spider so that it's now acting both aggressively and defensively. So it means that he's got to commit a bit more to attacking if he wants to be sure. That's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. There are worse things that could have been used on in my deck. I don't actually want to play that, do I? So I'll keep hold of that for the time being. What I will do is shift the axe back across to the cutthroat and attack with the cutthroat, leaving the spider in reserve. So let's swing in. He can kill it, but it will kill him in exchange, which I think is a fair trade. Otherwise he can let 5 damage through, which again I think is relatively fair, or he can block with the skeleton, which means that he's wasting a load of mana next turn. That's what I like to see. And let's re-equip that to where it belongs, and end the turn. Oh joy, we just can't seem to be get rid of that chaplain faster than he can keep bringing it back. That's not ideal. And I could really do with drawing something that doesn't bounce my spider back at this stage, because that's actually quite unhelpful. But I'll keep the 5/5 spider in defence and try and kill anything that comes in. And let's see how well this plays out. So surprise, surprise, he's going for the 3/3 lifelink again. But he's not attacking, which is good. Now that's more interesting. Let's play this and then bounce it, which seems really stupid, but it lets me get my 4/4 out. I've bounced the thing that'll give it a +1/+1. So although that was inefficient in terms of mana, at least I now have a 4/4 out, which means I can attack with my 5/5. And if it dies, then I can shift the axe onto the 4/4, which is going to become a 5/5 next turn. So he is blocking, and he is killing it. Let's make sure that we kill that first, just in case. Okay. Although he's got loads of life, I'm quite happy with where we stand at the moment. Less happy with that, bringing that stupid chaplain back yet again. But what can you do? He's got a graveyard deck, and I don't have any graveyard hate. This would be a nice time to draw that that thing that I removed from the deck that kills artifacts, though. So that may have been a mistake, it turns out. So if I do this, that's going to boost him up to a 7/5. Now I could attack. It would kill both of his creatures, but kill the Wave Crasher. We boost this to a 4/3, which we could then attach the axe to make it a 6/3, which seems like a reasonable approach. I think I'll do that. Once again, it slows him down. It means that he has to waste mana on bringing back that skeleton. So I'm okay with that. I'd rather it was just under the value there, but can't be choosers, can we? So, yeah, unsurprising, that comes back into hand. This goes back onto here. Now, of course, the big problem I've now got is that this thing dies to the chaplain, and I suspect that the opponent will notice that. So I think that was a misplay on my part. I probably should have been a bit more patient, waited for one of my tramplers to come down, or for a Zephyr charge. So I think I'm probably going to regret that. Yeah, back comes the chaplain again, presumed. Oh no, bring a gravedigger, then another gravedigger out, then a chaplain. Yeah, this is going to get frustrating. That helps. And yes, this is going to come out, and he's going to block with the gravedigger probably. Oh, no, okay, fair enough. He doesn't block with the gravedigger. But yeah, when that gravedigger dies, of course, he's got another gravedigger in hand that he can use to bring back the first gravedigger, which sort of keeps that cycle going, and yeah, can get very irritating. I won't be too worried if he attacks here. No, he doesn't. No. Ah, there we are. That's what I've been waiting for. Because he doesn't have any flyer defence. And I might as well attack with both. So that's good times. Unless he's drawn a card that wipes out creatures, I'm quite happy with that. He's now on a 2-turn clock. Potentially he's now on a much bigger clock because of course he's got the life linkers coming back in again. But they're not going to get to do anything next turn because I'm going to be going over the top again. So I'm going to do 8 damage, take him down to 5. He's then going to get back 4, go up to 9, which puts me just outside lethal. But we don't know what I'm going to draw yet. I might draw something that means that lethal is on the cards again. I'm not too worried about losing 2 life at this point. I'm in a very solid state if I can get something decent. That does not count. That's not decent enough at this stage because these things are already effectively unblockable. So let's make that fly. Let's make that fly. And we'll attack with both again. So hopefully I get one of my growth cycles next turn. Another Frostlinks. We don't have another Frostlink, so that's not going to happen. Boreal Elemental would be quite nice as a stocky defender. Yeah, there's definitely a few things that could come out of the deck and really save me here. Vorseclaw would be really nice. Of course, that just that sets that countdown very low indeed. So can he do 12 damage next turn? Possibly now, yes. That's a little bit infuriating, but I'll hold back the links and let the links take care of that. Plummet is unfortunately not very helpful, or is it? Aha! I like this. Yep, let's make you fly. Let's make you plummet. Lovely. I probably should have made the abomination fly, but the chance to do a disruptive play like that was just, it was too much to resist. And now I'm in the position where I can do 8 damage next turn. He's got to generate back 5 life. If he attacks with everything, then I still have to block with the Frostlink, so I'm still doing 6 damage next turn. At the moment, that 6 damage is going to be just lethal if he swings in with the Daybreak Chaplain. So unless he's got an answer to the 6, I think he's dead. I could have a combat trick. I am relatively low on life or buffer, so I am going to be blocking here with the links against the abomination. my hope is that he thought that I wouldn't do that because it wasn't a lethal attack, but yeah, I'm definitely doing that. Of course, that boosts the elemental, which I'd forgotten about. It's too much memory of that first game where I couldn't get any counters on anything. Oh dear. That is absolutely brilliant, because he's just used all of his mana on something that he thinks is going to defend him. But I've actually got the manifold key, which hopefully next turn gives me the win. In fact, this turn, because of course it doesn't have summoning sickness. So there we go, that can't be blocked. I feel very good for holding that back now. I don't need to make it flying because it can't be blocked anyway, there's no point. That is game. So we'll do a good game because that was another really fun game. But yeah, he can't stop this. Oh, he can stop this, can he? No. Because he has to pay life to... He has to pay life for that. There we go. 4-1 so far, and as my wife is home, I'm going to have to go and say hello. So I'm going to stop the video at this point, and I'll restart when I get back. So bear with me. Obviously, no time at all will pass for you, but some time will pass for me, so I'll probably have forgotten all about what's in the deck by the time I come back. Sit tight. And I'm back. That did not take as long as I thought it would, so consequently I actually do still remember what's going on in this deck, and I'm still looking forward to playing another one. What have I got here? Well, I don't think I'm going to be playing that one anytime soon. So I think this is the best I've done on a draft for a very long time, so yeah. Touch wood, maybe this will continue. Maybe I'll actually get my first 7 victories in M20. I think I got 1 in War of the Spark, and haven't had one since, so it would be nice. That's a decent enough start. Risen Reef will get some more cards. I've got loads and loads of colour diversity. I can get Zephyr Charge out as well, which is a nice thing to have on the board straight away. So yeah, this... Oh, and he's mulliganed. That's a good start. Someone else's turn to get a terrible starting hand. Okay. So let's start with that. Ah, opponent's being nice. Let's say hello. Ah, good game to you as well. I like it when that happens. That you know, you get that nice little exchange at the start. I should start it more often. But I know a lot of people have put have turned off their emotes. So Risen Reef out. This is nice. We could do with a bit more. Okay, yeah. I was going to say we could do with a bit more in the way of creatures. That's helpful. We've now got Mammoth Spider and Boreal Elemental due to come out. I totally garbled this saying there, or the pronunciation there. Now what's interesting is I could obviously attack with Risen Reef and Growth Cycle it next turn. No, I can't, because I don't have Risen Reef anymore. That's a shame, but that's basically what Risen Reef is for, from what I can gather. So yeah, I mean, from next turn we're going to start getting some more stuff out. Probably lead with Mammoth Spider. Does depend a little bit on what they throw onto the board. Yeah, that's one of those cards that I would love to have picked up. It would have gone very nicely in this deck. Oh well, you know, all 3 of my growth cycles are now here. That's different. Okay, so I might as well bring this out because I can kill that Chandra relatively quickly, and this protects itself a little bit with the skill it's got. On the other hand, I suspect that's game over unless I can draw my pacify plummet. Yeah, that's not good. I can kill it. I think I'm gonna have to. So I'll attack Chandra. and hope that he does the sensible thing and block. He's not going to block. That's a real pain. Let's bring out the mammoth spider. I suppose I should have boosted and done a bit more damage to Chandra there. But yeah, again, hindsight. Now I can take one swing. Possibly. 4 damage to any target. 3 damage. I can't, can I? No. This is game over. I'm not even gonna try and complete this one. That card is too powerful for me to beat with this deck. That is an early scoop. I know I could have drawn something like Plummet, but the fact is that my deck was already, or my board state was just wiped out at that stage. And you know, with 2 growth cycles in my hand, I don't think there was anything I could have drawn that would have actually made a competitive way of dealing with that that huge flyer. So no, I think I'm right to be out of that one early. It's just going to rage me if I stay in and get defeated that badly. So yeah, that's 7 victories is looking a lot less likely now, since I'm now on 2 losses, and that was a frightening deck. To get those 2 rare cards, that was a great combination for the opponent. So really good draft. Zephyr Charge again, Cloud Conceer into Overgrowth Elemental. That is a solid start. So let's see if this one goes a little better than the last one. You know, we don't have Risen Reef, so there's nothing for the opponent to kill immediately. But Bag of Holding is a great card, and that's definitely one that I really didn't want to see there. Okay, we'll bring out the healer. Zephyr Charge is useful, but given that Cloud Conceer already flies and Overgrowth Elemental's not going to be using it for a couple of turns, there doesn't seem to be any point there. But yeah, that Bag of Holding is going to be scary. Okay, it's just got a land. That's not as scary as it could be. Let's see what we draw with this. Good, more land. Hopefully we won't flood out. We already have enough land there. That's an annoyance. That really is a bit of an annoyance, especially since our game plan was more or less, let's fly in over their heads. What I will do though is I'll bring out the Elemental, attack with the Seer, and then see if they want to trade. Because that boosts the Elemental. I won't attack the healer. There's no point. So they probably, yeah, there you go. They probably will trade. They're probably going to kill. But I've got a 4/3 on the board now, and the 1 extra life helps. I've got a Zephyr Charge, so I can go over the top of that Scorpion. Yeah, Goblin Smuggler could be pretty nasty if they've got either combat tricks or something like Lavakin Brawler. Hopefully they don't. But yeah, we'll see. A Mammoth Spider. Not that helpful right now, so let's bring out the Zephyr Charge instead. And we'll float the Overgrowth Elemental over the top, leaving the Healer of the Glade to kill the Scorpion if it attacks. Which it shouldn't. I'm not going to block that. That's irritating. So I guess the right thing to do is bring out the Mammoth Spider, hold back, and then potentially float both Overgrowth Elemental and Mammoth Spider every turn, so that then we're getting at least 3 damage a turn, puts the opponent on a 5-turn clock. But they have loads of time to find an answer, so I don't imagine that that's going to last as a plan. But let's see what happens. That's bad. That is bad. That's really bad. Yeah, that, I don't want to say that that's just flat out game over, but that is just such a powerful card. that I doubt I can beat it. I just didn't draw powerful enough cards that is going to happen. The only thing I can really hope for at this point is that I draw something like my Vorst Claw, and it can sit there as a defender. But with this thing potentially going to be bringing up what 5/5s is it? Yeah, 5/5 elementals every turn. I don't rate my chances. Yeah, I think this is going to be unless I draw really well next turn. I think yeah, this is pretty much the end of the draft. Which is a bit of a shame, but you know, this is a fantastic deck to lose to. I mean, that helps, because I can bring this out and at least get rid of that. And then Zephyr Charge on the Elemental, Zephyr Charge on the Spider, and attack. Excuse me. So if I attack with both of these, at least I'm getting in 7 damage. Potentially it puts lethal on the table. Mammoth Spider, if it doesn't untap now and they don't get another flyer replacement, I can actually win next turn, which is quite a surprise to me, I'm not going to lie. So it just goes to show that writing myself off too early isn't a good idea. So they've got to come up with something pretty special here, and it's got to be something that they can use with only 4 mana. So if they've got a Lightning Strike, then I think my hopes are over. Leaf Kindred doesn't help them. Okay, that's excellent. So that flies. That flies. That flies. And for good measure, that flies. And I attack with everything. Well, I did not expect to win that one. When they got Bag of Holding and Wake Root Elemental down, I genuinely thought that was, you know, it was a few turns until I would lose. That was a genuinely pleasant surprise. So that's wonderful. Five wins. Wow. I haven't done this well in a very long time, and I certainly wouldn't have predicted that for a deck that had no rares, no mythics in it. This is actually doing far better than I'd anticipated. This is a decent enough start. We've got a few things that we can play in early turns, and then we're going straight towards a Mammoth Spider, and we've got both of our colours. I'm certainly not throwing this one back. That's a shame. I thought opponent was mulliganing. I thought we might have managed to get another opponent that had a terrible hand. That's really nice to see. I mean, yeah, the Cutthroat should come out, but it should come out on the opponent's turn after they've had a chance to spend their mana. Who is it? So I'll bring this out. Growth Cycle does work very nicely with it, but Risen Reef must come out next. Absolutely must. Just the sheer ability that card has to suddenly change your entire board state is amazing. I'll be delighted if I draw an Elemental for that reason. I don't get an Elemental, but I can bring out the Axe, so the Axe is nice. Might as well. Won't equip it. Don't need to yet. Yeah, go to the opponent's turn. Thinking about it, I probably should have attacked and growth cycled. Especially since that can now do 2 damage to any type. Although, I can save my Risen Reef, so let's do that. I get a nice +1/+1 counter as well. That felt better than I thought it would. So, probably the thing to do is to play the Thicket Crasher and attack Chandra with the Brineborn Cutthroat. It does mean that the cutthroat's probably dying, but at least I take out their seer as well. And yeah, I've got another elemental to come out next turn, so the reef does more good work. Ah, that was not in fact a trample creature. That was a misplay. That was just me being silly. But next turn I can bring out Zephyr Charge, float the Thicket Crasher, take out Chandra, and if I draw a land I might be able to play the healer as well and get some life. So yeah, I think that plan remains unchanged. I do want that Chandra gone. That did in fact happen. That is, yeah, there we are. So let's bring this out. Let's make you fly. And let's attack here. So Chandra goes bye-bye. And out comes the healer. So this is going okay. They don't yet have anything that they can use to block flying. Whereas my next turn I can bring out a fairly hefty blocker and it's one of a pair. So their ground stuff, and there's that Diamond Knight I was talking about earlier and saying that, you know, oh, you never see those, so it's unlikely that we're going to run into one of those in this matchup. Well, there you go, we are apparently. I'm actually going to hold off. I've got loads of life at the moment, and I might be able to recur that with ooh, that's a bit irritating. Not the end of the world. So I've now got 6 mana. I can bring out the spider or I can fly. I think I bring out the spider because next turn I can then fly with both. And, well, I might as well attack with that anyway. Don't need to fly. Now, I could have been stupid. He could have had an instant that would have boosted up the Diamond Knight. I could have lost my Thicket Crasher, but quite frankly I think replacing Thicket Crasher or trading Thicket Crasher for a Diamond Knight would have been perfectly fine for me. I wouldn't have had any issue with that. This is getting less good because he's now got quite significant levels of damage on the board, and can attack and do quite a lot. But these two things together both help. So I will bring out the second spider and not attack. And then next turn I can bring out the Wave Crasher, bring back the healer of the glade, play it again for another 3 life at a later stage. That's bad. Lavakin Brawler on the board is a bad thing. However, he is giving me an invitation to kill this. Now he may have an instant. This may end up being a bad move, but it's an opportunity to kill the knight, and I am going to take it because that thing can get badly out of control otherwise. I mean, I'm not in a great state here. That Lavakin Brawler's attacking as a 4/4, which means that we're taking a lot of damage every turn at the moment. So let's get this out, bring this back, and replay it to get the extra life. And then I will attack with the Thicket Crasher, because I do have some solid defenders, or 2 solid defenders anyway. The Mammoth Spider can take out the Keldon Raiders and the Wave Crasher can take out the Brawler. So that's actually a fairly... Oh dear, that's all gone a bit wrong now. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I am still going to take out the Lavakin Brawler because that has a habit of getting massively out of control. I'll hold back the healer because it could be useful. But yes, that's less good. Do I already have one in the... I do. That is lethal. It's +5/+5. It's not lethal, but it is if I add Healer of the Glade. So we're flying and we're winning. That's a pain. That's really, really sad. I'm not quite dead yet, but I'm very, very close. So that and that and that. And I suspect, I mean, I just don't think that, I think he's probably got a combat trick. I think I'm probably dying, which is a real shame. I genuinely thought I was going to win that one. No. Well, look, that was a good game. I did enjoy that. I don't think I learned anything, but I definitely enjoyed it. What could I have done differently? I suppose I could have done the growth cycle onto the smaller creature. That would have at least let at least 6 damage through, which would have threatened lethal with whatever was left over. So yeah, that was probably my misplay there, actually, and that is a lesson to learn. Hopefully this has been a bit of entertainment, a bit of fun. That is the end of my draft, though. I will do another one before too long, because that was great fun. I do have enough. Well, in fact, I've got enough golden gems for quite a few more drafts. But let's open up the reward. So let's see what I get in terms of rares, mythics, etc. Cerulean Drake, never really liked it. Sorin, though, that's a good pick. I'm happy with that. That almost makes up for misplaying the growth cycle there. I do have a deck that I'm using in Constructed, which makes use of Sorin for vampire affinity. So yeah, that's good. Well, look. Hopefully that's been interesting. Hopefully it's been something that's worth watching. If you have any questions, comments about anything, do please let me know. Otherwise, once again, I have been Aegis, and I'm done for the day.